As a coach, everyone is advising you to share your story, how you got to where you are physically and emotionally today, either with Beachbody or without. Um, it's the story that inspires and motivates. And I've always thought, which story? I've got a bunch of them. My life is not just one story. And I have not lost a lot of weight. I was never obese, chunky, thick, all that. Sure, obese, never. Even fat, even if I thought that I was, never. So I felt like my story wasn't very inspiring. Felt like I had to inspire in other ways, and I have. Um, but I discovered in one of my challenge groups that actually I do have a story, a very personal one. And if I even share this video, I may be a bit surprised. I discovered in helping others um, the start of my love-hate relationship with food. So let me go back to the beginning. I'm an only child. Most people see only children as being spoiled, rotten little brats. Anybody knows me for real knows that I'm not headstrong and stubborn. Yes, spoiled, rotten, no. One thing that only children really actually are is lonely. Very lonely. You tend to have to find your playmates other ways than most people, which is why a lot of us are extremely social. Either that or we're extremely introverted. One or the other. And I did not like being lonely. I did not like being alone at all. And I learned at an early age that one friend that was always there to keep me company was food. So when my parents were at work after school, whether I was getting home at 3 or earlier, actually, I would eat. I was a latchkey kid, which means that I would come home from school and let myself in the door while my parents were at work at the early age of 10, 5th grade. I stopped going to daycare and I stayed home. I didn't have after school activities. I didn't play sports. For me, going home and eating Ruffles and eating cheddar cheese dip and watching Punky Brewster was my after school activity, and I would. And then my parents would come home and fight. Being that my mom is gonna see this video, I won't share all the fighting details because that's her story, not mine. My story is how I dealt with it, and that was more food. We would eat dinner. I would eat first plate, second plate. We'd get done with dinner and more fighting, and I would want to escape. So I'd go to my best friend's house across the street. What did they do? They would feed Blakely to make her feel better, provide her some more of that best friend. And of course, at that age, you don't know. You don't understand what that food is doing. You don't understand the ice cream and the little microwave. I love these little microwave French fries. It's so crazy because we didn't have a stove. So we had these little microwave French fried TV dinner things, and I would dip them in mayonnaise. That was delicious. Fries and mayonnaise, chips and dip, ice cream, TV dinners. The only healthy thing I had was whole wheat bread. And even I've learned now that that's not always healthy. And I would drink out of a 2 liter. There are pictures of me with my bag of Ruffles and my 2 liter at 5, 6. Anyway, I digress. Food became my best friend. Throughout high school, I started to feel fat. And I was overweight. I was very overweight, actually. And those that know me and remember me from middle school and junior high and on up into high school will remember that. Luckily, in the 90s, it was cool to wear baggy clothes and dress like a boy, so that's what I did. And I hid what chunkiness there was there. Now, granted, again, I was never fat. I was never actually very fat, but I was overweight. And food was still my best friend, but I started to realize that overeating was causing me to gain weight. So I tried to restrict. I would skip my breakfast in the morning and then be starving by lunch and binge eat at lunch. Or I would go to the Mrs. Winters that was across the street from our school at East, and I would get a sausage or a steak and gravy biscuit and hash browns and a Coke, drink that, and then try to starve myself at lunch. I even tried the tactic of spending my lunch money on cigarettes. Then I would try to skip dinner and later binge eat. Vicious cycle. Hence how me and food became a love slash hate relationship. Then it tended to get worse when I discovered that you could vomit that food. I heard that was the way to eat and enjoy food and lose weight. So I did it a couple times, actually. But luckily for me, it never stuck. It never became a surefire way of losing weight for me because it took too damn long to vomit. Had it not taken so long and been so hard for me to do, I probably would have continued to do that. So anyway, this food trend went on for most of my early 20s. When I moved out on my own, I didn't have any damn money. So I actually started to drop weight because I couldn't afford to actually nourish myself appropriately. Was I trying to? Actually, no. Then you start hearing, fat-free, sugar-free, eat this, don't eat that. There's this, there's that. There's constant in your head about how you should look, how you should feel, how your muscles should be built, what your boyfriend is cheating on you with, this girl over here and this girl over here. Maybe if I looked like this one and my butt was a certain way and I had big boobs, then maybe I wouldn't get cheated on. It was constant. Then I guess maybe in my mid-20s, I became so focused on what I ate and how much of it that I would plan my day, every day, what I was going to eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner, eat, and then I was not planning truly healthy food, but I didn't know. I was ignorant, but anyway, I digress. Whatever it was, I'd have it planned out. And if I didn't stick to that, let's say I got to work, and a lot of you will actually remember this. Let's say I got to work, I'd had my breakfast, I'd already eaten whatever I'd planned, Cheerios, mini wheats, Raisin Bran, some eggs and toast, whatever it was, I'd already eaten it. Get to work, and one of the doctors I'd worked with bought bagels. Thanks, buddy. Anyway, I would eat the bagels. I'd eat maybe one. Am I hungry? No. Do I need any more carbs after whatever I ate for breakfast? No. But I could not. It was like I would see the bagels and the cream cheese, and I knew that he did it because he loved us and was hungry as damn self, and I would go downstairs and try not to eat the bagel, but it was literally all I could think about. It was like it was stuck in my head that I had to eat the bagel and cream cheese, and if I didn't, I might lose my freaking mind. I would be going about my job, and all I could think about was a damn bagel. I'm not kidding. So, finally, about an hour or two later, I'd go up and eat the freaking bagel. I might would try it one bite or half. Hey, do you want to split this bagel with me? Always ended up being a whole one. And I would immediately feel such guilt that it would ruin my complete day. I would go in the bathroom, and I'm not going to kid to you about this, and I would go in the bathroom and I would look. There was a mirror, and I would go, do I look any fatter because I just ate that bagel? I'm not kidding. Then I would turn to the side and I would go, I'm so fat. You're such a fat ass. And I would walk back into the lounge and I would hope that nobody ate more bagels so that I could eat another one. And then lunch would come and I would say, fuck it, I already ruined the whole day of my diet. Keyword. And I'm going to eat my lunch. Let's eat another damn bagel. Maybe these chocolates that this client brought, or maybe this iced coffee, because now I'm exhausted from where I've been stuffing my face with carbs and I've had a freaking spike of freaking blood sugar and now it's dropping and it's like freaking being on drugs. Literally, it's a freaking food drug. And then I would get off work and I would be so miserable about how I'd eaten all day that I just decided, fuck it, I'll start over tomorrow and I will eat more crap. There were only a few times in my adult life that I ever attempted bulimia, luckily. I did do it a couple times, but it never stuck, like I said. This went on so long that I remember about 9 p.m. calling my best friend in tears about how I felt like I was going insane. I will never forget this day. I said, I can't think about anything but food. It consumes every minute of my life. And here's why I created this for myself. If I was sad, if I was bored, if I was lonely, if I was anxious, if I was insecure, if I was happy, if I was tired, I would feed that with food. If I was trying to run away from some thought that was in my mind or something that was going on in my life or my parents fighting or anything like that, I would eat. So I called her and she met me and I cried and she said, Blakely, you need to call your doctor. Well, I had a personal relationship with my doctor. I'd known him a very long time, so I called him right then. And we talked, and he actually said that I had a form of OCD, he thinks, and we need to set up a meeting. So I went to my doctor that week, and he prescribed me Zoloft, and I took it. He also wanted me to start going to therapy sessions because he didn't want me to stay on Zoloft for indefinitely. He wanted me to actually talk to a therapist. So anyway, I took the Zoloft and went to see a therapist. One thing about myself is I've never had any problem about talking about my problems. I've never held anything in really. Well, some things about my childhood, but that's many stories. So I talked to this therapist, and I didn't feel like it did anything to help me with my issues of food. Granted, I only gave her one shot. I knew I was going to go back. I knew I wasn't going to quit going until I found out that my insurance didn't pay for it, and it was $100 a visit. So I decided I didn't need a therapist. Anyway, he diagnosed me with binge eating disorder. I'm like, everybody has binge eating disorder. Everybody overeats. When you take a night that you are, here's an example of binge eating disorder. You're laying on the couch, you've already had dinner, and you are not hungry, but you're lonely because you're single, or your boyfriend's out gallivanting around, or your friends are all busy, or whatever reason. You're lonely, it's one of those nights, and you're laying there, and you've already been smart enough to get all the crap out of your house, but you're laying there and all you can think about is Sonic tater tots. That's it. Can't enjoy the movie you're watching. You can't. Nothing. So you get up, get in your car, you go to Sonic, you get a corn dog, Diet Coke, because you can't drink Coke. You need a Diet Coke. Diet Coke, tater tots. And since tomorrow you're going to get back on your diet, you also need, what is Sonic Blast. Take it all home, eat it. You've already had dinner, literally maybe an hour or two before this. So this is like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So you eat that. Then you get up because wouldn't some chicken McNuggets taste good right now? And you drive to McDonald's and you get freaking chicken McNuggets, large, extra large, super size sometimes. After you've already eaten dinner, you've already been to Sonic. People look at me and they say, "You're small." Yeah, I am. But that's what I did. And for a very long time, until I joined Beachbody, I would do it at least 3 times a week. And I would work out 6, 7 days a week to try to compensate. I would work out for hours. Sometimes I would also obsess over that. Do I think that the exercise balanced out the binge eating? No, don't. I think it might have saved me from becoming obese. Maybe it was because I could be in control 4 out of the 7. Joining Beachbody changed it because I knew that I had people depending on me, and I knew that I needed to figure out a solution to my own problem in order to help others. Because I guarantee you there's so many people like me that don't want to talk about it. They don't even think it's really a problem because they're not going up after. But it is, it's a problem. I actually started a program called Body Beast, and it has a very strict meal plan. And I had a friend see my post about that has suffered herself from similar situations. And she said, "Blakely, anybody with an eating disorder does not need to focus on food. I've been through treatments. I've been through therapies. I'm not going to mention her name, but she knows who she is. She's an amazing friend that I never see. But anyway." And I said, "No, this is different. It's actually telling me to eat. She was completely correct. I should have never tried. I did really well the first 2 months, but by the third, with Beast, you bulk, you eat a lot. So that's why I thought it would be a problem. Well, no. As I started to bulk, my brain started to fucking think I was fat, and so I started to freak and I started to binge eat and not follow the plan. So in the last month, I just completely quit. I said, I'm not focusing on food anymore. Then I went back to clean eating. Since being a Beachbody coach, I will overeat, and I have had some binge eating episodes, but I've been a coach for a year and a half, and I have not, I haven't actually hopped from fast food to fast food restaurant probably at all. I've gone to get fast food in the middle of the night though, but I don't think I've done the fast food hop. Um, the I'm not gonna say that Beachbody saved me because that's not what happened. What happened is knowing that I had people counting on me, and it still hasn't saved me. I still struggle. I struggle every day. The only thing that has come anywhere close to helping me has been the 21-day fix. And I think the reason why is because I don't have to think to do it. Don't get me wrong, it's not, especially when you're actually starting it and you have weight to lose, you do have to think and you do have to plan. But I don't. I know how much I can eat of what macronutrient, and I'm okay with it. So with the fix, I try to follow it at least 6 days a week, and then 1 day a week I don't. That doesn't mean I binge eat. That means I can eat what I want, and I try to eat healthy and clean, but I don't have to actually think about, does this fit my container? Does the fix sometimes make me go a little OCD? Yeah, it does. So in other words, this story and this journey is still in progress. I'm better. I'm learning. I'm improving. But I'm not cured.